Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when a man crosses the line of what should never be said? Vaemond Valerian had everything: name, blood, status. He was a man of convictions, of old pride, the kind who holds his head high even when the ground shakes beneath him. And it was exactly that pride that buried him. The scene begins with accumulated tension. The king's council assembled, Rhaenyra and her children being questioned, the legitimacy of everything she represents challenged publicly. Vaemond wasn't just arguing about succession, he was provoking. Every word calculated to wound, to expose, to destroy reputations built over years. Put yourself in that room for a second. Imagine being in a hall full of powerful people and someone decides to use that stage to humiliate you in front of everyone, knowing you can't fight back without looking weak. Rhaenyra swallowed. Rhaenyra breathed. Rhaenyra stayed still, but Daemon didn't. And here's the heart of the scene. Daemon Targaryen is not the kind of man who waits for permission. While everyone else was calculating consequences, weighing words, thinking through political strategy, he had already made his decision. Vaemond called Rhaenyra's children bastards, openly, without hesitation. And then he went further. He went after her name, with a word that cannot be unsaid once spoken. The silence that fell over the hall wasn't shock, it was recognition. Everyone in that room knew exactly what had just happened. You don't do that. Not like this. Not in this place. Daemon stood up, not with visible rage, not with shouting. He rose with that calm that is more terrifying than any explosion, the kind of calm that belongs to someone who has already made a decision and there is nothing left to discuss. The line he delivers is surgical. He can keep his tongue. And then, before any guard could move, before Viserys could finish a single word, before the world could react, the sword had already done its work. It wasn't a senseless act of brutality. It was a declaration. Daemon didn't kill Vaemond because he lost control. He killed because he chose to. Because to him, that man had crossed a line that doesn't go unanswered. And in Westeros, that kind of line only has one response. What makes this scene so visceral isn't the blood, it's the contrast. Rhaenyra endures, Alicent endures. Viserys tries to hold the room together while barely holding himself upright. Everyone performs restraint. Daemon performs nothing. And that's exactly why he's frightening. Not because he's monstrous, because he's honest in a way the entire court had long pretended didn't exist. He doesn't kill out of cruelty. He kills because to him, certain things don't go without an answer, period. The camera is still on Vaemond's body when Viserys, nearly out of strength, makes that dry comment about dinner, and life moves on, as it always does in King's Landing. Too fast, too cold, but the message was received. Every person in that hall left knowing one thing. Daemon Targaryen is not a calculated ally. He is a force that moves when it decides to move. And when he decides, there's no protocol, no hierarchy, no speech that can hold him back. The question that lingers is this: if Vaemond had known exactly what was coming after that word, would he have said it anyway?